Hey guys, it's Venom coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you all a 2-bar heavy attack build that I like to call Zeus. We're going to take a look first at our champion tree. For the blue tree, we have Fighting Finesse. This is going to increase your critical healing and damage done by a total of 8%. Weapon Expert gives 20% more damage to your light and heavy attacks. Wrathful Strikes, 205 weapon and spell damage. Untamed Aggression, 150 weapon and spell damage. For the red tree, we got Strategic Reserve, gives you 30 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have. Siphoning Spells is 1500 magic whenever you kill an enemy. Fortified gives you 1731 armor. Balanced Vitality, 1400 health. And if you want a green tree, got Master Gatherer, Gifted Rider, Steed's Blessing, and Sustaining Shadows. Alright, let's take a look at our character sheet. This is going to be buffed up here. Got over 36,000 max magicka, over 25,000 health, 13,000 stam, mag recovery 1315, 1350, health recovery 3,330, over 5,000 spell damage, 46.5 crit, 8671 penetration, resistances 23 and 19, and when you get your major resolve going, it goes up to 29,000 and 25,000. That is also with a defensive pot equipped. Alright, we're going to take a look at our gear sets. Get this Twilight off here. For the gear sets, this is what I like to run when I'm in solo and 4-man content. There are a lot of gear set combinations that you can put on with Sergeants, which Sergeants is one of your sets that is a mainstay for any heavy attack build. But for your other sets, again, there's a bunch of different sets you can pick and choose from. My personal favorite that I like for solo and 4-man content is going to be Infallible Aether. This drops an Etherean Archive. This gives critical chance, minor slayer, weapon and spell damage, critical chance, and then adds 900 damage to your fully charged heavy attacks, and it's going to put minor vulnerability on the enemy, causing them to take another 5% more damage. If you want to swap out Infallible Aether, if you're going like into a trials setting and they are providing the penetration for you, you can put on something like Storm Master, which would be your next best choice. You could even run Deadly or the new craftable set Tideborn, Undaunted Infiltrator. There's another light armor set, Undaunted Unweaver. Again, there's a lot of choices you can choose from. But again, my personal favorite is Infallible Aether. The other set, as we were saying, is Sergeants. This drops in Wayrest Sewers. This gives max health, health recovery, 129 weapon and spell damage. And then whenever you deal damage with a heavy attack, you gain Sergeant's Focus for 5 seconds. Increases the damage your heavy attacks 645 per stack, and it can stack up to 4 times. This is, again, if you're running a heavy attack build, this set definitely needs to be part of your build. The other part that you would swap out, depending on your group, would be Infal. Your mythic, as you just seen, is Rakat's Void Mantle. This is one of the new mythics. This is going to reduce the damage of your light attacks by 50%. Dealing damage with a light attack restores 431 magicka or stamina, depending on your equipped weapon type. You gain additional resources when damaging off-balanced and less resources when damaging a blocking enemy. The big part is going to increase the damage of your heavy attacks by 50%. And the heavy attacks no longer restore resources. So we have all divines, max magic enchantments. We got a 1-piece heavy for the chest, which is your Sergeants. Your medium is your Rakats for your shoulder. The 1-piece monster we have is still Slime Crawl, light divines. The weapon on the front bar is Sergeants, sharpened trait. I have a shock damage enchantment. On the back bar, I have a Maelstrom Perfected Lightning Staff, infused trait, with weapon and spell damage enchantment. On the jewelry, we have the Infallible Aether necklace. Everything is bloodthirsty with weapon and spell damage enchantments. And then for the 2 rings, we have Sergeant, also the same. Take a look at our skills for our subclassing. This is what I like to choose to run, again, for in-game content. If you are trying to parse, there is higher DPS parsing combinations you can put together. Obviously, you can come down here and put on your Nightblade Assassination and get your rune focus stacks. I get all that. For actual in-game playable build, when you're looking at survivability, sustainability, DPS, and playability, those 4 things, I like to run this combination here. We have from the Sorcerer skill line, Daedric Summoning and Storm Calling. And then from the Templar skill line, Dawn's Wrath. We'll take a look first at our skills from the summoning skill line. We have Charged Atro. I have this on the back bar. This is going to help put Major Berserk into the group for 10 seconds. It deals damage on impact. It deals damage over time as an AoE. Very, very good skill to have in the group. The Twilight Matriarch is still one of the best heals in the game for any of the classes that you want, any of the subclassing that you want to choose. For, like I said, for solo and 4-man content, you cannot get a better heal than what the bird will provide. So I like to have that in the group. I've been in too many groups, too many pugs, people coming in, and even if there's a healer in the group, something happens to the healer, the other people don't have a heal, no self-heal, and it's dominoes. It's good to have a heal on your bar. And again, the bird is still the best heal to have. So that's why I'm really still high on the summoning skill line. For really any in-game build, I would recommend the summoning skill line. But again, if you're parsing, you want to swap it out, get a little bit more damage, make your numbers look better, sure, I can see swapping it out. We have Regenerative Ward. This ward here will also provide you a heal, unlike the Hardened Ward, which they removed the heal from. So this will absorb damage over 10 seconds, and it gives you heal, and it puts Minor Intellect in the group, Minor Endurance, to you and your allies for 10 seconds. We have Bound Aegis on the back bar. This is going to work from either bar while slotted. You get Minor Resolve. It's going to increase your max magic 8%. It's going to increase your physical and spell resistances by 2,974. And it's going to reduce your damage taken by 5%. So make sure, again, you grab your passives from whatever, subclass and skill line that you choose. So we have all of them for these. This is very, very important. Stuff like reducing your damage taken, increase your max magic and stamina and health. If you have a permanent pet active, this is going to give you 15% reduction to your ultimate rebate whenever you cast your Daedric Summoning. You're going to get magic or stamina back. Very, very good passives. The Daedric Summoning skill line for in-game content is loaded. Absolutely loaded. Love it. From the Storm Calling skill line, Power Overload. And this is a really key part to this build. It makes this build very overpowered. Overload has always worked with heavy attack builds. It's been going for over 11 years. Any heavy attack build, Overload scales off of it. They are going to be making a change. I just seen in the patch notes that Rakats is no longer going to be able to push Overload damage coming up with the next update. So if you get a chance to run this build now, try it before they end up changing it so Overload don't work with it. But you could absolutely nuke some bosses with this combination. So I would recommend giving it a try. Again, this ultimate here, it's a toggle. It's going to deal damage in the cone area. These numbers, all the stuff goes up, obviously, if you're buffed up. So just make sure you get all of your Empower and everything going. And it does a lot of damage. On the back bar, as you see, we have Hurricane. This is going to give you Major Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistances. This is going to deal damage over time, and it's going to increase your movement speed. Crit Surge is your source for major brutality and sorcery. It's going to increase your weapon and spell damages. It's also going to heal you whenever you do a critical hit. It's going to heal you for 366 health every second. This is your hot. The reason why I would recommend this skill line, and there's other combinations I'll show you here in a second that you can swap out and substitute if you wanted to. But what you get from this skill line here with Power Overload, your Hurricane, your Heal, your Major Sorcery, plus these passives down through here, is going to beat out the other choices. But they're fun to play the other way too. We'll go over it in a minute. So these passives here is going to increase your health, magic, and stam recovery, increase your physical and shock damage. This is going to increase the damage done against enemies, 1% for every 10% health they currently have. And then this, increase your weapon and spell damage by 108 for each sorcerer ability slotted. The current bonus on this is 540. So as you look across our bar here, everything except for the Blockade of Storms, which comes from the Destruction Staff skill line, you want to have this on as well. This is going to proc your back bar when you do your Wall of Elements, and you have your power glyph on the back bar. The Wall of Elements will proc it. The infuse trait goes off once every 5 seconds. So that will re-proc your glyph a total of 3 times, giving you the enchantment bonus. Alright, so for the other subclassing skill line, we have Dawn's Wrath. This skill here, the second one down, the morph of it is called Solar Barrage. This is going to conjure solar energy to blast enemies around you, dealing magic damage every 2 seconds. It's going to increase the damage done with your class abilities, which is going to push any of your class abilities by another 5% for 22 seconds. And the ability, while active, you gain Empower, increasing the damage of your heavy attacks against monsters by another 70%. The passives down here are very important for your group. This will increase the duration of your Sunfire. When casting a Dawn's Wrath ability while in combat, you generate 3 ultimate, can occur every 6 seconds. Casting a Dawn's Wrath ability grants minor sorcery to you and your group for 20 seconds, increasing everyone's spell damage by another 10%. And the Restoring Light is going to reduce the health, magicka, stamina, and ultimate cost of your abilities by 5%. To fill out the rest of the skills across our front bar, again, we have Regenerative Horde. We have Inner Light from the Mages Guild. This is, while slotted, you're going to gain Major Savagery and Prophecy, increasing your weapon and spell critical ratings, and your max magicka by 5%. We have the Solar Barrage. For Blinding Flare, this comes from the support skill line. While slotted, you gain Major Protection, reducing your damage taken by 10%. For the support skill line down here, increase your max magicka recovery 10% for each support ability slotted. So this is going to help you with your resources, because remember, Rakats isn't going to give you back resources when you're doing your heavy attacks. So it's good to get your max, your recovery up as much as possible. Plus, this skill is going to help you with surviving as well. Very good to have. The next skill over across our front bar again was our Twilight. And then we have Power Overload. The back bar was Hurricane, Blockade of Storms, Crit Surge, Valnegas, Twilight, and Charged Atro. To show you guys a different combination, if you're interested in this, you're already subclassing. If you wanted to get another source of Empower, there's two other ways you can do this. Go into your Dragonite, go down to Earthen Heart, go to Molten Weapons, putting on Molten Armaments. This right here will give you Empower, and it will last for 30 seconds. It'll actually increase as your passives here go on. So if you wanted to run this in place of your Templar, you can. And this will give you major brutality and sorcery and empower. And it would end up freeing up a choice here if you wanted to run a different combination. Me personally, I like the Templar. I think it provides more for you and your group. But again, this is also a choice if you wanted to get this as your source of empower and major brutality and sorcery. Another way that you can do this is underneath the Necromancer skill line, Bone Tyrant. And there's a skill here underneath Grave Grasp called Empowering Grasp. And this will also give you empower as well. But again, this here only lasts like 10 seconds in the group, and it's not as good as the Templar. But again, I just wanted to show you these other combinations that you could put on if you wanted to, for whatever class. Also, I am a high elf on this build, so whatever race you want to choose, just make sure that you grab your passes for it. Alright, let's take a look at our food. You have different choices that you can put on here. For the food, I have Clockwork Citrus Filet. This is going to increase your max health, health recovery, magicka recovery, and max magicka. If you don't want to run Clockwork Citrus Filet, it is a little bit expensive to run because it does take perfect roe to make it. Then you can run Potent Witch Mother's Brew instead, and that's also a very good choice, like I said, if you don't have that. I'll show you what Potent Witch Mother's Brew here looks like. This gives max magicka, max health, and mag recovery. Also a good choice. Just doesn't give you the health recovery and stuff, and the values are a little bit less. But again, if you don't have that, just run this food here. And for the mundus stone, we have on the Thief. This is going to increase your weapon and spell critical ratings by 1982. So guys, I just wanted to share this build with you. I hope you all will give this build a chance. Take a look and see. You're going to melt some bosses for sure. I hope you enjoy it. And if you guys enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. And I'll try to get back to you all with another one. Have a good one.